that needs to be taken care of consideration during weddings, also in the bar that they should be much more present. I think the non-alcoholic drinks, especially the mocktail, I'm not talking about the zero-proof spirits, right? I'm talking only about the mocktails. It's a great way to have a healthy drink. You can also express your creativity as a bartender, really listen to what the customer needs, using fresh ingredient, fresh product, local. But I have a different opinion on the zero-proof spirit, so maybe we'll come to that later. But yeah, I totally agree that everyone should look after their health. We talk a lot about sugar. There is a lot of sugar, different type of sugar that are really good for your health. So it is just, I think, something that we need to work on regarding our knowledge and our understanding of what is sugar and what are the good, natural, non-refined alternatives to have something much more, to have a healthier way of living.
So when you do a lot of, now I heard that you do a lot of consulting, do you find your clients talking about building a healthier menu? Like even when we say non-alcoholic includes smoothies, you know, a lot of other things which happen, right? Do you see that trend coming in your work profile? Like earlier, 5 years back, you were focused more on your signature cocktail, and now you're actually working on the non-alcoholic menu as well with your consulting.
No, definitely there is a rise on it because people understand that you need to be on point everywhere, right? So if you want to open a restaurant, you're going to have to think about the non-vegetarian, the vegetarian, and the vegan. So it starts to be kind of the same with the bar culture, where you can be in a bar and not being into alcohol, but you can have, you know, a great experience with something that has been created just for you or well thought on a cocktail menu. And I think that the non-alcoholic cocktail, let's say, can be a challenge, okay? It can be a challenge. It's like being vegan, right? You don't have the meat or the eggs to fulfill your meal. It's the same for me as the cocktail. So the non-alcoholic, you can be so much more creative and you can have so much more impact than an alcoholic cocktail. So I think it's a good challenge, and I will let my friend Evonne to.
So Evonne, I know you've traveled a lot, Ireland, globally, and you network a lot, and I've seen your new platform, Shaker Collective, and congratulations for that, and I hope it's a great success. It's much needed initiative. How do you see when you meet the network, you network with a lot of bartenders community, do you feel that sense that it's coming in the market about non-alcoholic, people are talking about non-alcoholic, healthy, low sugar? Do you see that trend in your networking as part of the industry?
Yes, I think industry as a whole obviously has been surrounded by alcohol, but at the core of it, you know, the hospitality industry is a social experience. And I think we're moving more towards actually needing less alcohol to keep that social experience going. So, you know, I think every menu should have a non-alcoholic section to ensure that you're not isolating people that are coming along that may just not be drinking at all or may not be drinking that night. So it's about ensuring that you're providing something for your guests, no matter what their sort of choice around consuming alcohol is. And I think that's, you know, growing across not just consumers in the bar, but also the hospitality workers themselves. They're sort of moving away from, you know, big boozy events to more mindful events. You see a lot of, you know, daytime events during industry, sort of, you know, Tales of the Cocktail or, you know, these big industry collections. You will see a run club. You will see, you know, possibly yoga session or wellness session. So as a whole, I think the appreciation and the respect for alcohol is growing, both in consumers and the industry. So yeah, there is very much a space for non-alcoholic serves. And it's just about building a drink that is balanced and enjoyable. Yeah.
Thank you. So I'll come to Ben first. I'm sure he has a lot of ideas. I can see it in your eyes. And you want to speak. So I'll take it. Ben, you already know the movement, the zero proof, your FOMO, no bitters. These products are from your portfolio, which is focused on mindfulness and towards non-alcoholic part, right? So you want to spread some, your experience, yeah?
First of all, thank you so much for coming, and I'm so happy to be here in India, meeting new people, and just representing my creativity and my partner's creativity with our products. So yes, I believe that the world has changed for the last 5 years since COVID and everything. People want to escape from the old life to a new life. Everything change, everything should change, and we can see it in the industry. So like we talked before, me and Louness, that it's a lot of focusing on, before creativity and everything, focusing on who's the hospitality man behind the bar, how confident he is, how he can talk and host you before that. So this is the main thing, I think, for the environment of hospitality. And afterwards, there's a lot of things. So there's the alcoholic scene and the non-alcoholic scene and the mocktails and everything together. In these days, I believe that every bar that respects himself needs to have at least a small menu between 5 to 6 or 7 mocktails and non-alcoholic beverages. It's first place, because so many people has their own morning jobs and into mindfulness and good health and non-sugar and everything. So you have to give them the option by religious, by wellness, by lot of things. And one of the things that guide us as a company, R2D, it's a new road for people who still want to go socialize, having good time, meeting friends, meeting people, stay in the bartender industry and everything, but not consume alcohol. There is a limit for a person how much alcohol he consumes in his life, or in a week. So, and he still want to socialize and go out. So all we do is we're trying to put sugar in the side, alcohol in the side, and support the industry with the new products like non-alcoholic beverages and stuff like this. So I think this is the future.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'll come to Lily now. I know she worked at Grand Hyatt and she's done a lot of projects with, bar owners, and you've traveled to Middle East, and you have that global exposure as well as working in the Indian environment. And I remember that you told me briefly you worked for a bar which was a non-alcoholic bar, right? For 1 year. You were the head bartender there. And you told me that the creativity which you did that time was even more than cocktails, right? I saw your drinks. It was very creative, very beautiful. So how was the challenge and how was that experience for you? Yeah.
Experiencing working in a non-alcoholic bar gives you the platform to create as much as you can without expecting that some main ingredient is always there to play with. So when you are creating any beverage which is alcohol base, your all focus is how to bring all the other ingredients together, which their profile is rounding around the flavor and taste of alcohol. But when you start creating with free mind, that there is no must or must not, which is your base alcohol, you can create beyond what you ever could imagine. That if this match this taste, if this will mask the harshness of the alcohol or not. But it comes again under the healthy category, but not all the mocktail bars or people who consume a non-alcoholic beverage are consuming a healthy drink necessarily. When you are using only syrups and canned juices, you're not doing any favor for your health. Zero proof, if it wants to rise in future to bring a healthy culture, it can be a psychological replacement for people who has addiction to consuming alcohol, but they simply can't drop having it because their mind is already addicted to that flavor. So zero proof can come into picture at this point, where it can give you all the flavors, all the aftertaste and notes of your spirit, which your mind would accept it as that, oh, I'm having alcohol. But actually, you're not adding the effect of a real alcohol to your body. Like when you want to quit smoking, you always find a replacement which is just satisfying your addiction, your hobby, your mind, basically. But it's not actually a tobacco. So it can replace itself there. Or so many people, like women who are pregnant, they cannot consume alcohol. When they are at parties, they still want to have an experience that they are consuming something, which again, if you give them the flavor, zero proof can again cover these kind of people. But it's still, at the end of the day, is like a decaf coffee. We all love coffee because of the caffeine and mostly the flavor. But when you decaf the coffee, you're taking all those good things and essentials out of it. So again, in here, you have to decide what do you exactly expect from a zero proof spirit.
But we remember doing a cocktail masterclass in Lucknow 2 weeks back, and there was a pregnant lady there, and she was feeling out of place because everybody was making picante, and she was just standing there. So we did a zero proof tequila, and she actually made a picante, and she got into the group. I think that was one takeaway, that
Good
we
point.
made a part of the group just with zero proof.
This
Yeah?
is even more satisfying for the bartenders, because we really get annoyed when somebody comes and asks for a mocktail margarita or virgin margarita, virgin picante, virgin negroni. And I'm just looking at people like, what do you want? You want sugar and lime? Make it yourself. So maybe this can be a relief for bartenders. So at least nobody will come and ask them this kind of unpleasant kind of orders,
Well,
right?
I see like people are drinking a lot nowadays in social, out of social pressure. Like when we do a lot of social events, I see ladies, they don't want to drink every day because they have a routine and everything. So they take a glass, they put the sodas and cucumber, and they roam in the parties just to show they're drinking. So there's a lot of social pressure aligned to drinking every day. So I think as a zero proof, I see a use case that you are drinking gin and tonic, but without bad hangover next day. So I think a social pressure angle is also adding to it. And Ben, do you want to add to that something? Would you like to add some point to this?
Yes, like you said, people want to come to the bar, socialize and everything. They want to have maybe the first the first beer, or maybe the first cocktail, but they don't. They want to drive home. They want to have a clear mind the day after. They want to, they want to stay themselves. They don't want to get out of themselves. So, and what are the options? You can have a lemonade or a Coca-Cola
A Diet
Zero.
Coke.
All right. So it doesn't look good. It doesn't frame good. You cannot upload anything. You feel like outsider with this kind of soft drink in your hand. So then, like you said, something looks nice, tastes good, have the flavors of alcohol, zero proof, of course, and everything. So you're still in the game. You're still having you part of the family. You're part of the event. So I think that, and then the places that give the service and hospitality and everything, they enjoy the people who stays. More people stays, can have some more dishes of food, and more people will come, and so the evening can go and go. And the environment of people like drinking, so it's all together. So yes, I really social with this.
So I want to throw a question to the panel, and it's open to everybody. Like I see that in cocktails you have IBA cocktail classic recipes. You have standardized classic cocktails, but on the non-alcoholic side we don't have, right? So I feel like you have the Bloody Marys, you have the picante, which are the classics, right? But on the non-alcoholic side you don't have any standards. So I feel that mocktails are sometimes more tough. Like when you're doing a cocktail design menu, you have the classics as a benchmark, and you do a twisted version, or you get inspired with that classic and create a signature cocktail. But on the non-alcoholic side, I really don't see any benchmark. Do you have any point on that?
Yeah, I'll pick this one up. I don't think you actually need a benchmark because it's still going for the same goal, which is a balanced drink that provides, something. So if you look at, a margarita or a Southside, they're both citrus-based refreshing serves. So whether the alcohol is in there or not, you're still aiming for something that's going to be, tart on the palate, nice and refreshing. So if you look at, what it is that person is wanting, a highball, effervescent and clean and crisp. So you can still create that without alcohol as long as you're ensuring that you're answering sort of what that person is wanting, for their mood or their palate. So, yeah, I don't think you as such need a benchmark. It's more there are various cocktails that suit different elements. If it's cold outside, you might want something rich and warm. So you can still create something rich and warm without the alcohol. So, yeah.
Like Ben had created No Bitter, which is a non-alcoholic version of Aperol Spritz, right? So the inspiration is a classic cocktail, which is an Aperol Spritz, right? So I'm just trying to think aloud, right? Should we create a benchmark for a mocktail, right? I mean, it's just my thought process. And Louness, you want to add something to it with your concern?
Well, you have you have a benchmark of Virgin that we used to call them. Virgin Mary, Virgin Morito, Virgin Colada, Charlotte Temple, etc. So I don't think that was really accurate to say that there was no book that says that mocktail are not, My problem with the zero proof is that
yes.
I have a problem
Come
with the
into
zero
that.
proof. Yes, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's just,
Is to substitute the desire of wanting some alcohol. All right, I want an old fashioned. You want an old fashioned, you go and drink it.
right.
And then you work on your moderation. You don't want to drink alcohol, you ask for the creativity of those places, of those bartenders, who will give you something tailored, with no sugar, or etc., etc. I have big doubts regarding the healthy parts of those zero-proof combination
Yes.
of spirits.
Right.
If I want an Aperol Spritz without alcohol, I'm asking for an orange juice, soda water, and
Right.
I don't know. That's not something. I'm not going to be a consumer of it. I definitely believe that the world was better when we were a bit more relaxed on
The alcohol part.
the alcohol part, that you can have fun, be drunk, it's fine, but just be careful on what you eat.
With
You know,
your drink.
it's not only about spirits, it's about moderation, it's about what you eat, it's about what type of sugar. It's not being ignorant of, okay, all the sugars are bad. No, it's not true. Honey is great, agave is great, jaggery is great. It's all about moderation. So I will always push people to get a fresh, local mocktail, sugar or no sugar, doesn't matter. But I won't be the one pushing for the zero proof. If I want a gin and tonic, I drink a gin and tonic.
Well, Louness, you have to see the world in perspective that countries like Saudi Arabia, Dubai, which is not pro-alcohol.
Yes,
you
sure.
know.
That's part of the world, like by religion. Let's say that you're a gin and tonic and Aperol Spritz lover, but you are a woman and you are pregnant at the moment. So you want to go out, socialize. You want to have your drink. You don't want to drink orange juice
Yeah, but this
in a
is-
highball. You don't want it anymore. You want to still be alive. You know, you have like a couple of kilos with you all over the place, and you cannot drink, and you cannot this, and you.
But this
everything
is
is
fake dopamine, my friend.
Just
This is a
imagine-
fake dopamine.
Fake-
Alcohol brings you many things. All right. If you again stay with moderation, you're pregnant. You're Muslim. You're Hindu or whatever. You don't want to drink alcohol.
Yeah.
Why do you want a substitute of alcohol? If I want a chicken burger, I'm not gonna go and get
A fake chicken
a
burger.
vegan. You know what I
Well-
mean? Like.
But Louness, if I'm in India, I'm traveling to Saudi.
If those products, I'm so sorry, if those products like the gin tasted like gin,
Yeah.
if this agave tequila that we have tried tasted like tequila,
Yeah.
that you have nailed the flavor,
Yeah.
and not giving me this creamy water, all right, creamy water with some essential oil that we can fit inside, Okay, I'll be like, okay, you nailed it. But for now, we didn't reach this point at all. For me, it's a creamy water. I don't know what's there. If you want a gin and tonic, I'm sorry, I'm from the old school. I'm from France. People were so much more fun when they were drunk. All right, the more people wants to get healthy in their way, the more this system and this society is getting fucked up. I'm so sorry. Pardon my French. But we need to stop going for substitute and we need to go for fresh product. And every time we're going to have a product, we're going to have consumers. Fortunately for you, and fortunately for some people. That's my point. All right. That's.
I think Louness, we need to shift Louness to Saudi Arabia for 15 days, and maybe his perspective changes, right? But yes, so India has 4 dry states, right? India has, like, if you go to Gujarat, they have the money, they're business owners. But whenever I do events there, the only thing on the beverage side I see is Coke, lemonade, and juices. Even in the big fat weddings, I don't see any non-alcoholic options, and it's usually the syrup, blue Curacao with soda and lime, and being serviced around in the tray. And they have the money. They have the money. It's not that. It's just that how do we improve the F&B experience in those states in a non-liberal scenario? You see, Maharashtra is increasing excise duties. The alcohol is going off the roof. The license cost is going off the roof. The profitability of bars running on alcohol is really in very bad state in our country. What are the alternative for F&B industry as a whole? That is what I'm trying to bring on the table, and I respect your view on that. But we have to see the cost-benefit analysis of having liquor in an F&B establishment. You pay for the license, you pay for expensive liquor, you pay for a beautiful bar, everything. There's a huge cost, right? I saw Lily's bar in Middle East where she was doing it's a simple bar. And I don't think she had spent a lot on the bar there. And she was more profitable. She was continuously selling out a lot of mocktails in the bar, right? So they are profitable, right?
So I think you're 100% correct. I just think the point that Louness is making, which I am in agreement, do we actually need a non-alcoholic like piece, or do we just need other alternatives? Like kombucha is a fantastic example.
Matcha.
Beautiful flavors, like things that have fermented but haven't fermented to actually an alcoholic level. They are fantastic options for non-alcoholic. But do we need a non-alcoholic gin? Because a gin in itself is, created with alcohol being but the alcohol carries the mouthfeel, it carries the backbone. It is very, very difficult to try to replicate when you are removing a key point of that. I think it's less difficult for beers or wines because it's
easier for wines.
Because it's a lower ABV, so the alcohol doesn't carry as much. So I guess that's the challenge, and it's nice to see innovation in the area. But potentially the thought of I want a gin and tonic, but I'm not drinking. I must have a non-alcoholic gin and tonic. Maybe isn't the right way to look at it. Maybe it's what does a gin and tonic bring me? Crisp, bubbly. So what is that could be done? Could it be a lime kombucha? Could it be something else? So I think I'm somewhat in alignment with Louness that it is very, very difficult to remove a key element and try to create a replica. But there is 100% space for non-alcoholic options, and definitely at weddings. Doesn't have to be just soft drink, because then it's just a glass full of sugar anyway.
And coming back from the community point, like we've seen as part of India Bartenders Guild, exposure to a lot of bartending academies, the curriculum, the techniques, and I see that most of the bartenders in our country are not taught on the non-alcoholic side. Like they don't know how to make a smoothie, they don't know barista. Coffee is also non-alcoholic. It's a subset of non-alcoholic portion, right? I don't see.
But they're different jobs. Like a barista is a different job to a bartender.
Let's remove coffee. Okay, let's remove coffee. Even if I'm talking about a right balance shake, a smoothie, and whatever, there's a lot of subset. Even kombucha, how to use kombucha. What is kombucha? If I put it out to my community, what is kombucha? Maybe 10% of people will know the exact what is kombucha. And we're talking about tequila distillation, we're talking about gin distillation, which is never used in the actual job role. Nobody's going to ask you, do you know how to make tequila? You see, so I see in the education point of view, that our community is not being trained well on the non-alcoholic side. And I just want your perspective. What do you think, like working in India, do you see that?
I think there are incredible programs that do train across non-alcoholic and alcoholic. I guess when you move into the role of a bartender, though, it really tends to be driven by, alcohol, whether that's wine, whether that's beer, whether that's cocktails, whether it's whiskey.
Yeah.
That does tend to be the first place that people will direct their education, and then non-alcoholic sort of would come in as a secondary piece. And that's largely because the majority of bars are driven by people drinking alcohol. But there are very much programs that do exist around non-alcoholic serves and even low ABVs. ABVs. So the education is there.
Internationally, I see that happening, but the bar academies or IHM colleges, which is more on the traditional mindset, I still I do a lot of bubble teas in events, and they don't know what is bubble tea, what is tapioca pearls. It's part of the non-alcoholic part, right? So I see that. Do you see that we should change that curriculum or bring a change in the training program of the Indian education system, catering to the beverage?
I think that if you actually have a good handle on distillation, spirits,
That's okay.
cocktail creation, you can transfer that to something non-alcoholic.
Yes,
If you
I
actually
agree.
know how to balance a drink, you know that there needs to be, sour, sweet, and generally the spirit, the strong. If you can balance that, then you should be able to put those skills towards something without alcohol. It's just about that, I guess, connection of the various elements. So I would still say that it's better to learn about alcohol and actually understand
Right.
how it's made, how the body processes it, and then apply those skills to non-alcoholic serves.
So I'll just like to summarize, and if anybody's, leave it open for everybody to contribute if they have any thought process they want to share, and we kind of summarize the session today. If you have anything else to add, like if I've missed out anything on the general topic, Lily, anybody? I think you spoke very less. If you want to add something,
For me, this entire world is based on both sides,
both sides.
white and black. Everything has good and bad things within it. Even alcohol has many good points and has many other not good points. We choose which side we want to focus on and which side we prefer to keep as a, the main perspective towards life or events. Whoever created the zero proof at the first time, he or she must have think of reason that he found it necessary for this world, which was a solution to something, definitely, which we might not know right now. But again, if we come back to the yin-yang, there are many people out there who would appreciate a zero proof even if they have an understanding of alcohol. It could be a solution to them, like the pregnant lady, people who just like to taste anything similar to a tequila, gin, vodka, whatever, but they don't want to get the highness of alcohol. And at the same time, there are people who actually are in love with alcohol, and we drink alcohol because we love alcohol. So I think there is no good or there is no bad. This is just what it is. And we just have to find our own way how we want to appreciate everything in our life.
Okay, I think that's well noted, and I'd like to summarize whatever we discussed. And thank you for taking out time and from your busy schedule in Goa. And I know Goa is tough to travel, and it's a lovely conversation. It's more about us sharing ideas, which we don't do it otherwise when we meet, because we are in a different environment. And I believe there's something to take away from our community as well as from your personal life. And thank you for coming. And everybody, if anybody wants to have a closing remark, you're most welcome. And we'll take it forward from there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
So guys, there's a memento at the giving. So we need to be on the stage for the memento, and then a picture
Why don't
together.
we take a collective picture? We had someone who wanted to give you some gifts. Yeah. Ma'am's coming. It was a really interesting panel. As much as I love kombuchas, I also agree with the concept of if you want to have a gin and tonic, it better be a gin and tonic. So before the plaques, we have Miss Renu Jain with here, with Bed and Bath Depot. She wants to present you with some gifts. Ma'am, please come on stage. And then can I have Mr. Prateek from our team to present the mementos. Yes, yes, of course, ma'am. Why don't you stay on stage and we can have a picture? Thank you, Renu ma'am. Can I have Prateek on stage, please? Please wait, Prateek. We'll start with Ben. Please, the memento. Just a token of appreciation that you took out time. Yeah, please be here on stage. And can you present the memento to Lily? Yeah. Just a small. And we have Evonne. Can you please present it? Next we have Louness. And last but not the least, our last minute moderator shift, Mr. Archit. No. The point was that, all good inputs to come forward, and they did. So great. Thank you all. Thank you for your time.